start things up. Okay. And this one I'll actually leave on the channel. So it's a wonderful cold Sunday. So we'll get into it and do a couple things. I'm really looking to update my decks that I have on Moxfield. So that includes going through and fixing my loot deck and my Y'shtola deck that I have, which I have been working on in the background a little bit here and there. I have the proxies done at the very least. So now I just need to actually go through and make it look the same. So what I'm probably going to wind up doing is bulk editing, just because that's going to be easier for me. So just and turn. It's really exciting stuff, to say the least. I've had a lot of fun with this deck, just idly gold fishing and everything. I haven't actually made it over to my game store here lately, so I've not really been able to play much with them. But I did go through and send them a list of stuff that I was looking for. So I'm hoping next time I go through, I'll be able to get a bunch of planeswalkers that I am looking to pick up. See, it's really funny because some of these are proxies of things that I know I have. I just don't know where they're actually at. Which, I mean, if you play card games, I think that's safe to say most of us do that. I'm building a new office right now for streaming and all that fun stuff. So I'm hoping that once I get it set up, I'll be able to actually organize everything. We'll see if it works. Because realistically, you know, I like the act of going through and picking out all the cards that I want, but I think that putting them in, at the very least, color sorted boxes would be really nice. Mostly because at this current point in time, I keep going through and having to restack everything. And it's, you know, it's a great time. I'm sure everybody is fully aware of how wonderful it is to actually look through bulk. Yeah, I would love to not have to do that again. So I may pick up some of those dividers and everything. I know that the Pokemon ETBs actually come with those. But I don't have any laying around, as unfortunate as it is. It's been really fun actually finding all the pieces for this deck. We've got a bunch of card stores near me, which is great. I mean, the choice is wonderful, but I have a couple that I always frequent, and I have just picked them clean of old junk cards that definitely should not be played, but that's what Commander's all about, is, in my mind, is making do with what you have. So, on one hand, oh Lord, I've proxied a Soul Ring for this deck. I have the human one from Lord of the Rings, actually, in my CEDH deck, but I don't know where I've got my other ones. I know I have them somewhere around here, but I'll have to find it at some point. It's really funny how I just refuse to actually look through my stuff while it isn't sorted. To the point that I don't even think I have a command tower in this deck. which is just, I mean, it's command tower. I know I have a ton. I've got 1 or 2 in my trade binder, but you know, a little bit different whenever it's actually things that I am wanting to play with. I did actually find my extra copy of the Miku command tower, which, you know, I really like Hatsune Miku. I'm a big fan. I like a lot of the songs. I've really been enjoying Magical Cure Girl, I think is the name of it off the top of my head. I don't know for sure. If I could spell, it'd make this a little bit easier. Yeah, I've ordered all the Miku secret layers in the first place. And I enjoy those. I like them a lot. But I just, for some reason, my last order of secret layers still has not come in, which is the one with the, which one did I have in that? I had the Extra Life secret layer and the, can't remember the word off the top of my head, the Marvel secret layers. So I'm really hoping that they haven't forgotten about me, because I really don't want to have to call. I really hate talking on hold and everything. It's just, it's miserable. You know, I'm Gen Z. I'm not built for that. But I mean, hopefully they'll get it to me sooner rather than later, because I'm really starting to get concerned. Which this deck has shaped up to be a little bit different than originally I was planning on. I'm actually going to be looking into some planeswalkers for it. So I think that's what I'm going to look at today. I've got a little list that I have. It's a bunch of the Tezzerets, bunch of the, actually both the Ugins that are out right now. And I know I'm going to put the new Ugin in too, because that's just very good in Commander. Which I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and he was going through and he sent me a video, or not a video, it was a tweet, and it was something to the effect of Commander players, whenever you show them a drop card that'll never get played in other formats, and he was just, he doesn't really play Commander, which is fine, of course. I mean, I enjoy it, so that's why I play it. But he was really torn up about it, which, like, the new Ugin will be pretty good, and if you can play it in other formats, yeah, go for it. I think your best bet's going to be Tron in Modern or Legacy, but at the same time, in Legacy, you're not going to be dropping 8 mana on something if it doesn't absolutely shatter the game. I mean, you've got all your Tron lands, but in Legacy, you're also not running all your Tron lands. You're running Planar Nexus, and then you're running Urza Tower, so that you can just have 2 lands and have Tron. So, I mean, it's really strange to see the differences in formats, which I watch a lot of different formats whenever I have the time. I like Bosch and Roll pretty well, and I like Thraben U. So I try and, when I have the chance, I like to borrow from other formats and try things out in Commander, because, yeah, it's probably been tried before, but has it been tried recently? Has anybody done anything with it? You know, I've proxied a Counterspell, because I don't have enough of those, clearly. It's one of those things that, like, I enjoy the brewing process a lot more than actually going and playing Commander at the moment. I got burnout on tournaments, and I wasn't really having a great time with that lately. So I've really been trying to brew more, and you know, I've not been as active on TikTok because I haven't had as much of an opportunity to go in and play. But that's okay. You know, I've been enjoying it regardless. So I'm really looking forward to potentially getting back over there probably next week and really trying this deck out. I'm going to have an actual weekend to myself again. So that'll be a great time. I'm very excited for that. I haven't had one of those for a while. But I mean, at the end of the day, as long as I can get a couple of rounds in and actually, you know, give credence to what I have in this deck, I'll feel better. Because goldfishing and everything, it's fine, but I would rather actually go through and see how it plays. Because at the end of the day, I can go through and practice a deck as many times as I want to. But if I don't get any practice actually playing against somebody else, I'm not really doing anything. Which that's why a lot of people are always like, oh, you need to get reps in if you're going to play any sort of, you know, big event or something like that. And you do need to get reps in, or else you're not going to be getting the amount of practice that you actually need to be getting. And that is something that you need to keep in mind when you're playing. But this does look like the deck is updated now, and I was just reading off the cards as I was entering that in. So that is the full list that I have available to me at this current point in time. I have gone and updated the considering board. I need to take out that Hercules. So I really like the idea of paradoxical outcome, but the issue becomes, what do I cut? And truth be told, I've really been thinking about cutting Season of Weaving. I like the Supreme Verdict because it's a board wipe, and I'm not running a bunch of creatures, so I've got 9 creatures in this deck. If I am losing to a Supreme Verdict, something has gone horribly wrong. So I definitely don't think that is the goal. So I'm thinking about cutting Season for paradoxical outcome. So that's something that I already have. I already have a copy of PO. So other than that, I think the planeswalkers that I have here are really going to be interesting. Which the bad part is $15. You know, 71 cents. That's fine. $15, $18, $1, 28 cents. Okay, well that's good. $2. So this here is, you know, $40, which is fine. I mean, the budget on this deck is currently $290. That's not bad. All things considered, I'll take that. I'll take a $300 deck, especially compared to some of the more expensive ones that I have. I was just texting one of my friends, and I was like, yeah, I have, you know, my loot deck that I think is on this, actually. I think I need to go through and actually update it. No, my loot deck isn't on Moxfield. That's crazy. Well, I'll go ahead and do that then, because I've got the Y'shtola done, but let me loot CDH my pile. So I actually run loot the key to everything. I really like Teamer. It's my favorite color combination, so a lot of my decks are Teamer. The good news is this little buddy, less than $1. The bad news is the deck is not less than $1. This is one of my pricier decks. So let me actually get the deck out so that I can start going through it and everything. I haven't ordered any. Well, that's not true. I have ordered some proxies for this. I have my Cradle, and I have my duels, and I have my nice fetches, but I am tired of worrying that I'm going to mess something up. So I have gone through and changed them out with proxies, which I just, I don't. As long as I have the cards, then I can play with them at tournaments if I ever feel inclined to do that again. Which as of late, again, I've not really been into that whole thing. One of the game stores in town has they've gotten to where they allow proxies, which is great and all. But now my deck that I put together myself doesn't compete with 32 Tymna Croms. So, I mean, is that an issue with me as a player? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, I don't really want to spend $50 to go lose. It's one of those things. I don't hate playing there. I think that, they're very nice people, but it's one of those where I want to play with the cards that I have, not the cards that I have printed out. And again, a lot of the people are very nice, and I like the store, but it's not been something that's been interesting to me recently. So I don't know. But this deck is Money Pile. I've stuffed as many combos in here, and at some point I'll get to it. I enjoy the deck. I enjoy the deck a lot. I originally started out playing Kinnan, and I was on Kinnan for a while, maybe 6 months, something like that. Which, if you go and you ask around and you're interested in the CEDH play style, you wind up hearing that a lot of people stay on decks for months, years, and that's cool. I won't deny that. But the issue that I was running into, and again, maybe this says more about me as a player than anybody else. The issue that I was running into was everybody around me already knew how to play against Kinnan in the first place. And the way to play against Kinnan, more often than not, is just kill the Kinnan. If you just kill the Kinnan, then the Kinnan player isn't going to do anything. If you remove the Basalt Monolith, great. They're not doing anything. Which is, good for you if you're sitting at the table, because when you're playing Commander, you're wanting to be doing the best. You want to take the best game actions that you can. The issue became the best game action was screwing me up. So from there, I went and I built this. And again, it is Teamer, so I have access to all of the stuff that I had in Kinnan, and now I just get to play red as well. Which, that opens up a lot of opportunities for things. Many people, at least around me, like to think that red is the weakest Magic color, at least for Commander, because you aren't running you're not in aggro. If you're in aggro, you're playing Rogsai. The only reason you play Rogsai is because Rog is 0-drop. 0-drop turns on all of your free spells. So, that's one of those things that I don't particularly care for. And I do miss Dockside. That was one of the big ones. But at the same time, I also really like not having to worry about Dockside, because the second Dockside is always the best one. Especially if somebody doesn't pop their treasures. This deck here, though, I'm loot itself wants you to run as many permanent types as possible. So for a while there, I wasn't actually running every card type. And then I thought about it a little more, and I realized that I wish I could spell. I needed to be running my typal stuff. So I put a Idol of the False God, and what was the other one? I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll get to it in a second because I know I'm coming up on it. Fortune. Alter the Goyf. It took me a second. Alter the Goyf is actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I've thought about it a lot, but it kind of turns loot from, you know, rinky-dinky 1-2 to, okay, well, this is sometimes a 6-7 or a 5-6 or a 4-5. Like, at that point, you know, I'm actually getting in for tangible commander damage. Which in this deck, that's not a huge deal or anything. It's not expected for me to be doing that. But at the same time, it's really funny whenever I crack in for that much with my little 3-drop loot. That gets me a bunch of card advantage. Because that is why I chose to play loot in the first place. It's for the card advantage. I wanted access to the impulse draws every turn. And it's so good whenever it starts working. Because more often than not, I can get a couple card types down by turn 2. And if I've got a couple card types down and I have loot out, well, I'm already getting more cards than everybody else each turn. And that just, it kind of feeds itself. Which is great. I mean, you know, there's nothing like... Well, the way you win games, in my opinion, is play more cards than people, have more cards than people, and go from there. At least in a normal one-on-one game, that is my philosophy. Why did I put an Ulamog in this deck? I don't remember putting an Ulamog in here. Might have actually been from my Storm deck. I don't remember for sure. I think that seeing more cards than other people, generally speaking, will lead to getting the victory, or at least having a little bit more of an advantage than other people. Obviously, if you're in a 4-player pod, you have to keep in mind that politicking is an important thing in this game. And I personally don't care for it. I think that politicking is getting more frustrating the longer that I play Commander. But at the same time, it is something that you just kind of have to work with. I wish I could spell Goyf. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because you wind up no longer winning because you are playing to the best of your capabilities. You're winning because you are just able to out-talk everybody, which is fine. I mean, some people are very good at that. But it frustrates me. And that's not something that I want to be interacting with a lot anymore. But at the same time, I keep my decks. I wish I could spell Veil. I'm struggling. I apparently can't type and talk at the same time. Who would have thought? It's not like I do this for a living every day. Song, thank you. Misty Rain for first? I did realize that we are about a week out from the new bans. I really am interested to see how that'll impact the game. Do I think we're gonna see any bans? No, not particularly. I would be more surprised if we did get hit with bans. I think that they'll unban some stuff. Do I know what they're gonna unban? No, not at all. Haven't got a clue. I know that a lot of people are expecting stuff like coalition victory. I know that's been one that's talked about a lot. So I did see that Mana Crypt is going up in price again, which is so funny. I paid $170 for mine whenever I bought it a couple years back now. And then immediately after I bought one, I went and opened a mystery pack and opened a. I opened my second crypt at that point. I never pulled one from the Ixalan stuff. Yeah, I think that's all of it actually. Yeah, there we go. It's the full deck. So that is main 99. Oh. Yeah, I sure can't type. Okay. Seiju, who endures? Loot Pathfinder. I misspell Minsk and Boo? That doesn't seem right. Because I know that's correct. Let me find this thing. I did misspell. There we go. 62. Mystical. What was after Manamo? Mystical Tutor. Tutor. And then Altar of the Goyf. Let me find this one real fast, and then I'll get back to whatever it was I was saying. If I can even remember. Hey, there we go. $100. Oh god, it's $4,300. Okay, I'm gonna go through and change out my different printings of everything. Invasion is normal. Dak Faden. Let me swap the printing on that. Because I have the Eternal Masters one, I think. I'm 90% sure it's the Eternal Masters one. No, I really enjoy this deck because I get to use so many different card types. You know, I don't have to just have the best cards in the game. I get to play the ones that are, in my mind, fun, and that matters a lot more to me than not. I think my Minsk and Boo is this one, actually. It would help if I was doing it as I was inputting everything. But yeah, no, it's really interesting for me to go and look at other people's decks, which is, you know, that's normal. That's one of those things that I think everybody does. But I mean, I'm also very happy with mine because I built this. I built it myself, and I enjoy that I get to say that I built it myself. Delighted Halfling. I don't remember which Delighted Halfling I have. That's the issue with 100 cards. I have to keep looking through them all. So. I think my Delighted Halfling is just a normal one. I don't think it's the extended art, actually. I've played with this deck enough. You'd think that I would know that by now. I'm so interested to see how much this will cost, actually. Yeah, I just have the normal Delighted Halfling. It's actually more expensive than the other one. Okay. My Displacer kitten is this one. My Dual Caster, my Elvish Mystic. Which Elvish Mystic do I use? I think I use the Miku one. Yeah, I use the Miku one. My Spirit Guide, I use the Dominaria remastered one. Endurance. I actually just got the. I didn't just get, but I actually used the German Fintornelfen. Only one printing a Gilded Drake, so that kind of narrows that down. I think yeah, I used the Innistrad one of those. My Imperial Courier is correct. Kikijiki correct. Kinnan correct. My Llanowar Elves, I just got a new one of those. Got the Jesper one, so I did get the foil in that. My loot, yeah, that looks right. Mana Monkey, incorrect. Thassa's Oracle. I actually just used the normal Thassa's Oracle. I was given it by a friend, so I'd rather use that than any of the other ones personally. My Walking Ballista, I use the Fallout one, just the normal one though. Finale, yeah, that's right. Yes. I don't use that Windfall. I use a different Windfall. I use the Commander 16 one. An offer, I have, oh, well. Can't refuse. I want I use this one, the Secret Lair Showdown one. Where is loot? Oh, what did I do with it? I guess it's gone now. Okay. I'll just put it in, and I'll go fix the actual thing here. Yeah, no, I mean, I enjoy Commander because I get to go and pick out all the cool things that I use. That's my preferred part of Commander, because I have a lot of cool things that I like to show off. Like I use the C2016. The cord that I use, it's the Miku one. I use the Japanese one though. Consign is still a $5 card for some unholy reason. Deflecting SWAT. I have this one. Fierce. I'm using that one. Yep. Force Vigor. No, I'm actually using the OTJ one. Yeah. The Force of Will that I use is this one from Dominaria. We're at 4,400. This is hurting me more and more every minute. I have a Double Master's foil. My Mental Misstep is just the new Phyrexia one. I think I use a different one. Yeah, I use this one. Is mine foil though? I don't know if mine's foil. Can't remember. You'd think I'd know by the time I've looked through this deck so much. Yeah, it's not foil. Okay. Noxious Revival. I just have the normal one that came out of the All-Be-One. Pact. Really like Pact of Negation. It's very funny whenever I get to go and rip it on the first turn. Throwing the game, yeah, but it's fun. Got the WPN. It's the Swan Song I use. I actually have a different Swan Song that I would rather use. I'll use that one instead. My Veil of Summer. I think mine is a list. It sounds familiar. My Worldly Tutor. I would like to get an original printing Worldly Tutor at some point, but In the meantime, I think I just have the normal Dominaria remastered one. I find it interesting that they put most of the one-drop tutors on the Game Changer list. Which, like, I get it. You know, they're strong cards, but I think it really depends on, you know, what you're tutoring for. No, I use the retro foil. There we go. You know, I find it interesting when that's what we're doing. But, you know, what can you do? Oh boy, it's a difference of 4 cents there, so it's really impressive. Okay. And the arcane signet. I don't even know which arcane signet I'm using, actually. I have not got a clue. I know it's on here somewhere. It's not that one. I hate to say it, but we may wind up cutting this stream short because we are quickly coming under a storm for some reason. Just blown in out of nowhere. So, yeah, I have the etched foil. So, and then the basalt monolith, I use the double masters foil. The chrome mox I use. Which chrome mox do I use? It's not that one. I think I use an original chrome mox. Yeah, I have a Mirrodin one. Mine is a little bent, but that's okay. It still plays the same. So Lotus Petal I have is this list promo one. My Mana Vault is a 4th edition, actually. Yep, this one. Mox Amber, I use the schematic. No, I use the retro. There we go. So that has just been climbing ever since. So my opal, I use a different one of those. I use this one. I originally had this double masters one down here, but this one matched all my other artifacts, so I was much happier with that. My soul ring, which is pricey, shouldn't be. I would prefer it not be, but unfortunately it is. So let me find it, because I use the human one. Talisman of Curiosity. That's my Simic one. I use the etched one. And then my Talisman of Impulse. I use the Doctor Who one. My One Ring. I hate that this card has not gone down in price. Would love it if it did. I used this one. It was $40 whenever I bought it. Crazy. Exploration I have. Yeah, that's correct. I actually really hate this art for the Mystic Remora. I know that it's Jesper who did it. I do really like it, but I much prefer the Ice Age one. I don't know why. I don't care for it. So, oh good lord, my wrist has gone up. Okay. Actually hate this art as well. I'd rather do that one because mine is foil. I've got the special guest foil. Then we get to lands, which I only run 24 of apparently. I actually don't run the list version of this. I use the actual Tempest one. So then my Bloodstained Mire, I use the I use the Tarkir one, the Khans one. My Boseiju is the Borderless. Breeding Pool, I use the Gate Crash foil. I think it looks a lot better than the other ones. My City of Brass, I am running the, let me find it. It's this one, the Modern Masters one. My Command Tower, I'm actually running the, oh, this is going to be horrible trying to look through them all. I'm running the Command Legacy, I think. No, that doesn't sound right. It's an older product, I remember, but I can't remember what it's called. It's not the Forgotten Realms, not the Commander Collections. It is Commander Arsenal. Yep. So I actually use that one because I think it looks a little prettier. My Manamo is a foil Champions of Kamigawa. So that's up to 250 now. That's great. We're at 5,100 now. That makes me feel good. I use a foil one of those. My Otawara. I think I actually just have a normal Otawara. I don't think I have a borderless one. Because I know it's in this deck. Yeah, I just have a normal Otawara. That's good. That's not more money. My Rejuvenating Springs is just a normal one. My Scalding Tarns is just a normal one. The Steam Vents I use is... I think it's the foil? I think it's foil. Yeah, that feels familiar. The Stomping Ground, I actually use the Secret Lair with a Tarka on it. My Taiga... Let me make sure it's the correct Taiga. Yeah, it is a revised one. My Trop is a foreign black border. Don't know. It's not unlimited. It's not collectors. Yeah, I run a foreign black border. Mine is German, actually. It's a little more pricey than mine is worth. Mine's worth about 300. So I wish I could change that, but it's fine. I use a MH2 Verdant. I use a Khans of Tarkir. My Wooded Foothills is that one. The Yavimaya Coast is the borderless foil from Dominaria. So yeah, that's my loot deck. It's my baby. I've spent too much money on it, as you can see down there. I was under the impression this was only 3,100. So I guess somewhere along the way, when I was upgrading arts and everything and blinging it out, kind of got a little away from me. Yeah, so it's a CEDH deck. As true as I can make it, it is CEDH. I did brew this deck. I didn't go through and look up any stuff for it, so there's probably improvements that I could be making. Idol of False Gods, I'm not super sold on that, but it still counts for an artifact and a kindred, which is nice. It's very nice, but I really don't know if it's going to make the cut in the long run. There's a couple of lands that I would like to put in here. I don't actually run any basics, and so I'm pretty weak to Beseiju and... Sorry, not Beseiju. Pretty weak to Blood Moon, Harbinger, effects like that. But yeah. So since we've got a storm coming in, I'll go ahead and end things off here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I'll try and have some more here soon. Been working on my office, so hopefully that will get set up. Be able to record a little bit more actual content here shortly. I am running a new microphone, so hopefully that's sounded a little bit better now. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We're Cardboard Conspiracy everywhere you can have bad magic takes, and we'll see y'all next time.